here. Wait, let me go back here, man. Because, yeah. So this guy said, all Hebrews have Canaanite blood to a certain extent. I said there are Canaanites in the midst of the Israelites unto this day. In 2025, yes. But all Israelites having Canaanite blood is not correct. Zechariah chapter 14, verse 21. Yea, every pot in Jerusalem, which is the house, we are like plants. In Jerusalem and in Judah shall be holiness unto Yahweh, the Lord of hosts. And all they that sacrifice shall come and take of them, and seed therein. So everybody's basically going to come and worship Isaiah chapter 2. They're going to worship our power, Yahweh, and do our things. No, nobody's going to celebrate Esau things no more, like flying reindeers and bunnies that lay eggs and all the other type of feast days that he has. People are going to seed in our feast days. And in that day there shall be no more the Canaanite in the midst of the house of Israel. Did it say midst? Okay. And in that day there shall, I didn't read further, sorry. I clicked it away, but I kept on talking. And in that day there shall be no more the Canaanite in the house of the Lord of hosts. So there are Canaanites in our midst. Yes. Guys like this are the pushers thereof. But let's replace this one with a hand like, you never been with an Israelite? Hey, somebody come over here and just give him a girl. Stuff like that used to happen back in the days, and it's still happening until this day because they police themselves in the strangers, the sons of strangers, the children of strangers. Ezra 9:1. Now these are the things that were done. These things were done. Now when these things were done, the princes came to me, saying, Ezra came to Ezra, the people of Israel and the priests and the Levites have not separated themselves from the people of the lands. So you had other princes that was like, hey, Ezra, look at what the other princes and leaders are doing. Look what they're doing. Doing according to their abominations, even of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Jebusites, the Ammonites, which is Japanese. These are Canaanites. These are Hamites. The Moabites, Chinese. The Egyptians and the Amorites, which are Canaanites again, and Mizraim here, the Egyptians. For they have taken of their daughters for themselves and for their sons, so that the holy seed have mingled themselves with the people of those lands. Yea, the hand of the princes and rulers had been chief in this trespass. It was the other princes that was like, hey Ezra, look what they doing. So it was not 100% of them. It often is not 100%, because not 100% of the Sadducees and Pharisees were wicked. Not 100% of them, but a big portion of them. But that doesn't mean that you should also kick the other ones that were not down. You shouldn't kick them too, because they're princes, and also other rulers that have nothing to say, because the word prince also goes into ruler. Right, you had other rulers that were not princes, but you had princes that were rulers, you know. And in this case, this guy, he was a prince, but he had nothing to say. He had no power of rulership. You know, he was in the form of, he was in that position, but he couldn't make moves. You know, Matthew chapter, let me go on. Right, so it says here, seeing that all Israelites have Canaanite blood. All Israelites have Canaan. He said Hebrew, but I know what he's talking about. It's not correct. And the men give seed and bloodline. A woman cannot give bloodline. She can only give her DNA through blood. We are compacted in blood and fashioned in flesh in the womb, which grows through the woman's womb. The child actually grows through the woman's womb, because of the woman's womb, I should say. Through her, you know. But you are the seed and bloodline of the Father. Women do not have a bloodline. They have blood to give to the child, and that's it. You know, DNA and stuff like that. No woman can control this. This is why the abortion, this is why they want abortions. So they can 187 the child. That's why. And you have here, for example, that it is murder, because if you kill a child, doesn't matter how old the child is, one day, if you know you're pregnant and it's one day and you still decide to kill it, yeah. Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 5. Before I formed thee in the womb, in the belly, I knew thee. So this shows you that before you are even conceived, before your father and your mother actually have sex and something conceives in the womb, whether it be a boy or a girl, the Heavenly Father already knows you. So what are you doing when you commit abortion? Even if it's one day, even if it's a few seconds, like a seconds of conceive, and then you kill it. You killed somebody that the Lord knew. Why? Because before the seconds even happened of conceiving, the conceivance thing, before that even happens, the Heavenly Father already knew the child, or the spirit, I should say, because it's not a child, the spirit that would be put into the child. So you murder something or someone that the Heavenly Father already knows. Before thou camest forth out of the womb, in the belly, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. So this is the scripture which shows you that in killing a child before the child is even born, conceived, and brought forth out of between your woman, your mother's legs, the Heavenly Father already knows the child, right? So that's murder. So it says here that's why they want to kill the child, because they have no control over it. Ecclesiastes 11:5. As thou knowest not the way of the spirit, nor how the bones do grow in the womb of her that is with child, even so thou knowest not the work of the Heavenly Father who make it all. So you grow in the womb. 2 Maccabees 7:22. I cannot tell how ye came into my womb, for I neither give you life. For I neither, as the mother, wait, let me get it here. What did the mother say? You can read the rest for yourself if you have the time to get the real, the story. I'll go to the point. I cannot tell how ye came into my womb, because you're compacted in blood in your mother's womb. Here it says it, right? You grow in the womb. And nobody knows how. They know of it, but they don't know like how, why don't you turn into, like, everybody understands how water turns into ice, but you don't know why. Well, you can say why. Well, because it gets cold. It gets cold. That's why it turns into ice. But you don't know why that is. Why isn't it fire? Why doesn't fire make water turn into ice? Because the Heavenly Father didn't create it like that. That's the point with the questioning all that there. Eventually the answer is going to be because the Lord wants it. That's why everything that happens in my life, I'll be like, yeah, the Lord, wow. I'm not even tripping. But anyway, I cannot tell how ye came into my womb, for I neither gave you breath nor life. Neither was it I that formed the members of every one of you. It's the Lord that does it, and we have nothing to say. This is why women want to do abortion, because they can't control this. It's not like, that's a rapist. You can get pregnant. You might not want it. You still can get pregnant. So you have nothing to say. You don't have no control, no power over that. The Lord does. And also saying all Israelites have Canaanite blood is like saying all Caucasians have black blood because his parents are so-called black people. Don't even want to say that word. Isaac and Rebekah. You have to remember the bloodline of Esau and Jacob were separated. Genesis 25:23. And Yahweh said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. Separated from thy bowels. So is Esau and Jacob of the same bloodline? Let me get it here. No. Okay, I didn't. Oh yeah, I have it here. They shall be separated from thy bowels. So they're separated. They're not the same bloodline. Same thing as Isaiah chapter 22 verse 1. No, Genesis 22 verse 1. And it came to pass after these things that Yahweh did tempt Abraham, and said unto him, Abraham, and he said, Behold, here am I. And he said, Take now thy son, thine only son Isaac. He didn't have just one son, because if you go to Genesis chapter 16, it says here, 16:15, and Hagar bare Abram a son. And Abram, people might say like, oh yeah, but this Abram, this is not Abraham. What are you talking about? Well, this is his name that was changed into this, just like how Jacob was changed into Israel. Believe me, I have met people that are just different. But I'll leave it at that. Anyway, and Hagar bare Abraham a son, and Abraham called his son's name, which Hagar bare, Ishmael. So this is his first son. And at that time, that was his only son, right? And then came his second son, but the Lord said, thine only. So why? Because the Lord cut him off. Only he counts. You're not even existing. But he will make him a great nation. He did not just exterminate him or something, or make him to not exist. But in this case, he does not exist, even though he exists. Take now thy son, thine only son, whom thou lovest, and get thee. Okay, I don't need to read that. So basically, he separated the bloodline of Abraham and cut it off from Ishmael, and then make it go further through Isaac, and then from Isaac to Jacob. And the same thing he did with Esau. He cut off the bloodline of the chosen bloodline. He didn't cut off the bloodline of Esau. He cut off the chosen bloodline of Esau, through that it doesn't go through Esau. Or else Ishmael could have done the same thing and brought forth Israelites, you could say, just for an example. Or Esau could have brought forth Israelites because they came from the same father and the same mother. Esau, but not Ishmael. He came from a Mizraim mother, Hagar. 1 Chronicles chapter 5 verse 1. Now the sons of Reuben, the firstborn of Israel, for he was the firstborn, and he is, still is. For as much as he defiled his father's bed, his birthright was given unto the sons of Joseph, which is Ephraim. Well, the sons of Joseph, actually. But it's Ephraim, the son of Israel. And the genealogy is not to be reckoned after the birthright anymore, because the birthright was passed over from Reuben. He's the firstborn. He's supposed to get the birthright, but the Lord didn't want it like that. So how did he make it work? Verse 2. 1 Chronicles 5:2. For Judah prevailed over his brethren. And how did he prevail? Well, I'll get to that later. Of him come the chief ruler, Yahushua, but the birthright was Joseph's. Yeah, the birthright went from Reuben to Joseph, which is then therefore to Ephraim. But it passed away from them. Why? Because Judah prevailed over his brethren. How did Judah prevail? Well, it says it right here. 2 Kings 17:18. Therefore Yahweh was angry with Israel and removed them out of his sight, and there was none left but the tribe of Judah only. This is how Judah prevailed. All the tribes, they started worshiping after idols. Afterward, that Yahweh on a how should I say it? After Solomon, I wanted actually to say after that Yahweh introduced himself unto us since Egypt. So since from Egypt, we always had Israelites that didn't follow after the Lord. In the book of Joshua 24, you can clearly see it. Right there in the midst of Joshua, they was worshiping idols. Right there, before Joshua died. Throughout Joshua's life. Well, not in the beginning. In the beginning, one man of us shall chase 1,000. That's when all Israelites 100% followed the laws in front of Joshua. But also in his midst, especially when he got older, they started to worship idols again. And in the book of Joshua, chapter 7 or 6, 7, they was doing breaking the law again, and therefore 36 of our people died. And throughout there, here and there, you still had them worshiping other gods and stuff like that. But the ones that went out to war with Joshua, they kept the law. They had to, or else we would die. Right. So it was Judah that did that. That's why Judah will be woken up first, because they was the last to go down. The last shall be first, and the first shall be not last anymore, because the first is going to be first, and it's going to stay first. But throughout history, the last shall be first, and the first shall be last. The last shall be first, and the first shall be last. The last shall be first, and the first shall be last. For example, Esau was the first, and then he became the last. The Job chapter 30 shows you that everybody was like, ew, get away from me. He was the lowest of the lowest, the base. He was the base. Daniel chapter 4. He was the base, right? But he was the first. And then from being the base, he became the first. And then we became the last. Because we were the greatest. Allah, before the flood of Noah, we were the sons of God. We were the first. And then we became the last. And then in the time of Allah, we was last. The least of the nations in the time of Mizraim. Then we became the greatest of the nation in the time of King David. And then we went to the bottom again. And then we stayed there for a long time. And now we're being woken up again and brought up to the top once more, slowly but surely. And Esau is at the top right now, even though he was base man. He was a base man. And then he became the top of the cream of the crop, until now. Slowly but surely, he became the top, you know? And now he's falling slowly but surely. He's falling down. So it's a roller coaster of first, last, first, last, first, last, first, last, first, last, first, last. And now it's going to be first and stay first, right? So Judah was woken up first. 2 Kings 17:23. And of the Judites, Romans 11 beautifully explains it that you have Judites fallen off of the branch, but they're the natural branches. So if you think you're going to boast against them, you should be you should be very afraid of talking shit. Should be very, very, very afraid. Very afraid. 2 Kings chapter 17 verse 23. Until the Lord remove Israel out of his sight, as he had said by all his servants the prophets, so as Israel carried out of their own land to Assyria unto this day. 2 Kings 23:27. And Yahweh said, I will remove Judah out of my sight, as I have removed Israel, because they started to worship the things too, and will cast off this city Jerusalem, which I have chosen, and the house of which I said, my name shall be there. He will cast us out. So the Lord does what he wants. He chooses us, and then we choose Satan, and then he kicks us out. Jeremiah 3:8. And I saw, when for all the causes whereby backsliding Israel committed adultery against the Lord, I had put her away, and given her a bill of divorce. Yet her treacherous sister Judah feared not. They was not scared. They wasn't scared. They was like, that's not going to happen to us. Oh, yes, it did. But went and played the harlot also, just like Israel. So my point of reading all that is to show you that first the northern tribes fell off, and then the Israelites fell off. So that's why the scripture said, all Israel have sinned. All of them have sinned. And we became a not people. And the Lord also had a not mercy on us anymore. But in the end, he will have mercy. If you read this whole chapter, he will have mercy upon the house of Israel, starting with the elect. Because he separated the nations, and therefore he separated the seeds. So a Canaanite, another example also, right here. Because I wrote on, I should say. It says here, women do not have a bloodline. They are the result of a bloodline. Women do not give life, they give birth. Let me read it again. Women do not have a bloodline. They are the result of a bloodline. Actually, the end result. If you only have daughters, that's how your bloodline stops. Right there. That's an individual, not of your family, because you can then therefore go through your brother or your uncle, which is your father's brother. You cannot go through your mother's brother, because that's her father's bloodline. That's that's her brother, which is her father's bloodline. So you can't go through there. So therefore you need to go through the brother of your father. And if your father doesn't have a brother, then you need to go to your grandfather, his brother, or your grandfather, maybe, your grandfather's brother, because your father doesn't have a brother, but your grandfather, his brother. And if your grandfather is also an only child, then you go to your grandfather, his father, his brother, bloodline, and so forth. It's always going to be somewhere where you have two brothers and then two different lines from the same father. Right. So you're there. But actually, he's supposed to actually have sex with one of your with the woman that is a widow. But that's another story, because that's not going to happen nowadays. So you're still going to come through your father's side. That's the point. So women do not give life, because I just read it to you also. But if you think about it, you always hear Esau talking about, well, the seed is dead, and the woman, her womb is perfect. It's working perfect how the Heavenly Father created it. But the man cannot make her pregnant because his seed is dead. The sperms are not swimming. So, or some of them are swimming backwards, and then you get them little backward babies and stuff like that. Wait, sorry. Yeah, you got some of them guys out here that having them backward swimming babies, like Whack 100, his mother, and actually his father, and the other guy that is having a from ear to ear smile with the KKK leader. Those are some backward babies, some backward swimming semen babies, among others. I can say about, I'm not going to talk about those, because I don't make fun of people, like so-called disability people. I don't do that shit. I never did. You never hear me say the word yeah. Well, let me leave it at that. I'll rather say nigga, whatever. I'd rather say that than make fun of a person with disability. I'm not doing that shit. I always, since I was young, I had the fear of doing that, because I knew that the Lord gonna punish you if you make fun of those people. So I didn't need nobody to teach me that. I saw that myself. Lord willing. Kind of proud of that too. I never made fun of disability people, but I don't do that shit. That's not fun. I seen people do it, and I always got angry. I was like, well, what are you doing? You gonna get kids one day. See, that's I already cursed you right there. You gonna get kids one day. How about that? You're gonna get kids one day. So the Lord separated the seeds. So going on, it says here, Deuteronomy 30. Oh, I already read that. Yeah, the Lord separated the sons of Adam. That Yahweh separated the nations so that Ishmael cannot bring forth Israelites, and neither can Esau, nor Nahor, which is Abraham's brother, nor Moab or Ammon, which come through Haran, which come from Abraham. Moab and Ammon come from the brother of Abraham. And all, so Nahor, Haran, which is the brother that died, the deceased brother of Abraham. Nahor, Haran, and Abraham, or Abraham, Nahor, and Haran, actually, I should say, in chronicle order. They all come from Terah. So and Terah eventually comes from Arphaxad, and from Arphaxad come Eber. Arphaxad is the father of Eber. So they're all Ebers. They're all Hebrews, right? Or you could kind of say. But the Lord separated them to where they're not really called Hebrews. Even though Ishmael is a Hebrew, because you said that all Hebrews have Canaanite blood. Ishmael is a Hebrew. Esau is a Hebrew. And Moab is a Hebrew because of this. It explains it right here. It's very simple. They're not called. I'm not calling them Hebrew, but I know that they are. 1 Chronicles chapter 1, verse 18. And Arphaxad begat Salah, and Salah begat Eber. Okay, cool cat. So now everybody that comes from Eber, it would then be a Hebrew, right? So, 24. Shem, Arphaxad. This is the chosen bloodline. Because Arphaxad made Shelah and stuff like that. But anyway, Shem, Arphaxad, Shelah, Eber, Peleg, Reu. Because, let me see, Eber. Yeah, here, 2 sons. Peleg. And the other one was Joktan. But the bloodline didn't go through Joktan. It went through Peleg, which is also a nomen omen, which means division or divided. Peleg means divided. So that's the omen. Through him, the earth was divided. And then, therefore, let me see here. Shem, Arphaxad, Shelah, Eber, Peleg. So Peleg is a Hebrew. Reu is a Hebrew. Serach is a Hebrew. Nahor is a Hebrew. Terah is a Hebrew. And Terah had 2 other sons also, which were Nahor and Haran. Nahor and Haran. Here. Terah begat Abram, the Hebrew. Nahor, the same thing. And Haran, the same thing as him. It's the same thing. So Terah was a Hebrew also. I mean, how can a not Hebrew make a Hebrew? It can't, because he's the same thing, but he's not called that. So I hope I'm stressing that, because I hope you get it right. So therefore, Haran died, and then Haran his son was Lot. Here, Lot. But Lot is the father of Moab and Ammon. So they're Hebrews also. Why? Because they came from the same father. They came from literally the same father. So they are the same. They came from here, Heber. It's the same thing. And yeah, that's it. So Shem did not come from Heber. I mean, sorry. Elam did not come from Heber, because he came from Shem. It says right here. Here. So Elam is not a Hebrew, Elamite or something like that. Where is it? But he is a Shemite. Sorry, where is it again, man? Here, the children of Elam. Sorry, the children of Shem. Elam is the firstborn of Shem, and Ashur, and Arphaxad. See, the Lord skipped the firstborn again, and he jumped onto the third. Same thing what he did with Judah. Judah prevailed over us, all his brethren, because he stayed with the Lord. And most likely, off of that information that I read concerning Reuben and Ephraim and stuff like that, then I can assume, well, I don't want to assume, I can think, well, it is assumption, but it's not like, no, not like that one. I don't want to use that word. I can think now that it would be the same with these two. They would not have sticked with Yahweh Bashem Yashai, but Arphaxad did. And then he jumped from Arphaxad, and he jumped over Salah, which was the firstborn, but he jumped over him, and he jumped toward Eber, because he stayed with Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, because he prevailed over his brethren. And Arphaxad prevailed over his brethren. He prevailed over Elam, Ashur, Lud, and Aram. And then Eber prevailed over Salah, which was the second one. And so the Lord jumped on the firstborn again. And then you had therefore, the Lord made a Peleg, which was the first, and then Joktan the second. So he jumped. Well, he didn't have to jump, but he still jumped over Joktan, because he didn't choose him to go to do the bloodline thing. He jumped on Peleg, and then from Peleg he jumped on where? Peleg, he jumped on as thou knowest not the way of the Spirit, so knowest not thou. Wait. 11:5. It says here, as thou knowest not what is the way of the Spirit. We don't know. We don't know how, but the Lord does it, and we understand, especially through the records. We can understand what he did through reading the records, of course. This one is it then. Here, sorry. So from Peleg, he jumped to Reu, and Reu, Zagar, Serach, Nahor, Terah, and from Terah, he jumped over well, he didn't jump over them, because Abraham is the firstborn, but he skipped them, I should say that then, therefore. He skipped, he even killed Haran. He skipped Nahor. And then he chose Abraham, and then from Abraham, he skipped and jumped over Ishmael. He jumped over here. He jumped over him. And then he chose Isaac. And then he jumped over Esau, and then he chose Jacob. And within Jacob, he jumped over Reuben, skipped him. He jumped over Ephraim, skipped him too. And he crashed on, not crash and then as in like plane crash. No. He doubled down the spirit upon Judah, right? As I should say then, therefore. Going on. Right. So what do you have then, therefore? You have, I'm gonna read this part again for the last. Here. You have then what? The Lord in that day, Yahweh, in that day there shall be no more the Canaanite in the house of the Lord of hosts. Right. So my point of also reading this is to show you that our people were laying down with all the other women. Yes, we do have women, Canaanite women and Hittite women that we had children with. Yes. So you can say we have Canaanite blood in the midst of us. Let me see. Judah, the chosen bloodline of Judah was actually Tamar, which was a Canaanite. Judah was a Hamite. What was it again? Let me see. Tamar. I think the first Chronicles 2. No, these are the sons of Reuben. No, no, 1. No. Oh, yeah, it is here, I think. First Chronicles 2 and 3. The sons of Judah, Er, and Ammon, and Shelah, which 3 were born unto him of the daughter of Shua, the Canaanitess. Yeah? Let me see. Which 3 were born unto him of the daughter of Shua, the Canaanitess. So they were Canaanites. She's a Canaanite. She's a daughter of Canaan, right? And the firstborn of Judah, was evil in the sight of the Lord. He followed after his mother. And the Heavenly Father slew him, die. And Tamar, his daughter-in-law, bore him because they was living among the Canaanites. So what do you think she was? She could have been a Mizraim, because Mizraim was also living there, which are the Philistines. But I would think it's a Canaanite. And Tamar, his daughter-in-law, I wanted to say his mother-in-law, sorry. And Tamar, his daughter-in-law, bore him Pharez and Zerah. You can read about the Zerahites also. I forgot where, but you can read a little bit about them. And it says here, which their name is also spelled a little bit different too, sometimes. So it kind of catches you off guard, like, huh, what are you talking about? But anyway, all the sons of Judah were 5. The son of Perez, Hezron, and Hamul. So I think it went from Perez to then it's Acher, then Hezron, then this one, then Boaz, then Jesse, and then David. That's how the spirit jumped. Jumped over this one, jumped over that one, then stayed here, then took this one and jumped over that one, and then jumped here, and then jumped to him. And Salma begot Boaz, and Boaz begot Obed, and Obed begot Jesse. So it jumped around like that. And then you have, let me see, David. And the chosen bloodline, if I'm correct, it's Pharez. Let me double check that. I think the chosen bloodline was Pharez and not Zerah, if I'm correct. But my point is, Pharez, his mother, is a Canaanite. That's my point. And she was playing the whore. She was not a whore. She was acting like a prostitute. She took the role of, well, she actually took money for sex. So, and she's actually a prostitute. If you take money one time for sex, just for sex sake, it don't matter if you're trying to trick him. You're a prostitute. You took the role of a prostitute. Are you gonna talk disrespectful about the foremother of the chosen bloodline of Judah? I don't think you would do that. You should do that. Even though I make crack jokes, but those are my jokes. Don't take that over. And also, and I don't mean it disrespectfully, because I know better. Lord willing, I know better. But to somebody that want to boast, but anyway, the tribal boasters. Yeah, but your mama. You see, I'm not trying to be funny. Sorry. I'm not trying to, sorry about that little joke. Matthew chapter 1 verse, let me see something here. It was Pharez. No, wait, let me see Pharez. I think it was Pharez, yeah. Pharez and Zerah of Tamar. And Pharez begot, they spelled it different here. No, Judas. No, wait. Yeah, Jacob begot Judah, which is spelled with the S now here, and his brethren, right? The other ones, right? And Judah begat Pharez and Zerah of Tamar. Right. Okay. This one. All right. And Pharez begat Asham, and Ashram begat Adam. Yeah, right. So the bloodline is through Pharez, right? Yeah. And then Adam, and then Salem Boaz, which is Boaz, and then Boaz begot Obed, and Obed of Ruth, yeah, because that's a Moabite. So your mother doesn't matter. The chosen bloodline has a Moabite blood up in him. So again here, it doesn't matter if we have Canaanite blood. It matters if your father is a Canaanite, because it doesn't matter what type of blood. You can have people with Edomite blood and all that type of stuff. It don't really matter. But you need to also understand that throughout history, what will the lighter skinned people do? The lighter skinned people will start to cling on to Esau because they would think and feel and that their skin is better and more pure and more beautiful and all that type of god shit, and they will spit on you. So you need to take that one in account also. They will spit on you. Believe me. I know what I'm talking about. Nehemiah chapter 13 verse 11. In those days also I saw Jews that had married wives of Ashdod, which was Mizraim. Here you can see that. Mizraim. Those are Mizraimites. Let me see. Philistine. Where's Ashdod? Ashdod is here. In Philistia, which the Philistines are Mizraim. Genesis 10 explains you that. Just like how Simeon was living in the midst of Judah. You have Mizraim living in the midst of Canaan. But you had them from Ashdod, right? So we had children with them. Until this day we have children with them. But if it's your father's bloodline, then it doesn't matter. So we do have Hamite bloods up in us. Yeah. You know, we got Ishmaelite blood up in her too, in us too. We got Moabite blood up in, even in the royal line, you have Moabite blood. So it's not a big deal, man. It's not a big thing. You should watch out because they're going to start, they will hate you. I mean, have you seen the racism? Until this day, I learn about them. Chinese. Here, being black and mixed race in China, fucking horrible. Their fans commit suicide and all that type of stuff. They're also mixed up. And also in Japan, I'll leave this link in the description box so you can check it out for yourself. Which is a beautiful child. I don't know. They hating. They fucking hating. That's why I don't like them. And this one is a good one. If you check this one, you will see these are white Japanese, their forefathers, and these are the ones that have a black father, so-called black father. These ones are the ones that have a so-called Caucasus father, Edomite father. So what happens? You will see that they don't face the hatred like they do. They face the fucking hatred. That's why I don't like these people, man. You know, I don't like them. And you got to watch out for them too when they're so-called mixed up, because they will think that they're better. These ones, they will think that they're better, and that's just what it is. That's just how it is right now upon the planet Earth. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is right now upon the planet Earth. And so let me see something here. Even in Korea, do you worry about racism towards your children? The Asian family talk about racism in Korea. Of course, they're Korea. In Korea, you have it. In China, you have it. Japan, you have it. But if your father is a Caucasus male, you're not gonna face. You're gonna be uplifted and boasted up. They're gonna put you in televisions and stuff like that. They're gonna push you, right? But if you're so-called black, they're gonna call you a criminal. This guy was even being thought of as a thief.
The experience of racism is probably a little bit worse for Blasian.
For black Hafus, for Blasian, these are the Blasians ones. It's worse for you, and they know this. What the fuck you mean probably worse?
half of this.
But like they said, they used to think like I was a drug dealer.
And they think that of me until this day. So they do it with them too. See what I'm saying? They don't call them drug dealers and all these type of so-called. They call the so-called black women. They call, if they're mixed up, they call them whores. They think they're hookers and shit like that. Like, do you want to pay for sex, or are you good at sex and stuff like that? Shit, you know what I'm saying?
This is me. I am what Japanese people call a hafu, the Japanese term for mixed race people. As a Japanese Nigerian growing up in Japan, I was a constant.
And he's a Nigerian. His father is an Israelite, so don't worry about that. He's also an Israelite.
Outlier in a country that is 96% ethnically Japanese. Mixed race people like me are often labeled as not real Japanese, with even the term hafu originating from the idea that mixed race people are only half of a proper full Japanese person. So today I invited the
I think,
idea
yeah,
that
this
mixed
one.
race
I
people
think
are
this
only
way.
half of a proper full Japanese person. So today I invited the two most
They often think like you're strong, muscles and all that type of stuff, But anyway, these one are the ones that are you could see their styling of clothing, and they got the white style. You could see that these are Israelites, man. I bright up when I talk about these things, but it's funny to me. I like them, but I know they're not liked, and that's why I hate the rest of them, because they don't like them, I can't stand bullies. I can't stand that shit. I can't stand people that I can't stand it. I'm not gonna stand by and make you do that shit in front of me. But anyway, I ain't no tough guy, but I will tell you, like, if you do that shit in front of me, if I was in school and stuff like that, I would fight. I would fight often. I would fight for them. I'll tell you that. I'm not taking that shit.
Being half.
Anyway, you will see sad stories about her and her friends committing suicide, and others also with Japan and stuff like that. And well, I can go on and on, I can go on. But the thing is, my point of showing all this is to show you that the whiter ones are going to fucking fight you. They're going to fight you. Yeah, so if you think you're gonna make children with an Edomite female, okay, he might not hate you, yeah, but his sons, his children, or their children, your great grandchildren, they might hate your guts, especially if they start hanging around with their own lookalikes and stuff like that, and also with Edomites and all that type of stuff. They're gonna spit on you. They're gonna spit on you once that time comes. They're gonna spit on you. Because they're going to be like, I'm not black. My hair's not that. I'm happy with my hair. I'm happy with my skin. Monkeys like this motherfucker over here. I love this. Makes race kids versus. See, it's fucking bullshit shit. It's bullshit. So they're going to do this. Eventually, they're going to hate your guts. Will all of them 100%? Of course not. That's just stupid. It's just stupid to say that. That's like saying all so-called black kids are good at basketball. That's the dumbest shit you could just imagine in your head. And if your head already thinks like that, you shouldn't be thinking. You shouldn't be thinking.
Scapegoat for collective trauma of the Chinese nation.
They get traumatized because these Chinese people, they hate you. That's why I don't like these people, bro. I'm telling you, like, no. Anyone who blacks mix has a skin is naturally dark. Those guys are second black generation.
The new.
Anyway, if you watch this, I don't like these people, because if you watch these type of things, you will see that they hate you. They hate the so-called black men. They hate you. But they love the caucus because you're white. That's the only reason. That's the sole reason. Just watch these documents and you're gonna figure it out. Like, wow, okay, cool. So that's how y'all think. Now, just like I said, is every so-called black man a rapper? Is every so-called black man a basketball player? No, that's the dumbest thing. Not every so-called black man is an athlete. How about that? Or athletic. Some of them are feeble. So don't get that dumb thing in your head like, oh, all of them. I just don't like the Moabites that don't like me nor my people. I don't like the Ammonites that don't like me nor my people. So the other ones that are cool cat, I'm just cool cat with you too, man. It's not a big deal. I know who I hate, who I don't like. You heathens, especially the ones that don't like us. So that's that part, man. So, yeah. Do we have Canaanite blood in our midst? Yes. Do we have Canaanite bloodlines in our midst? Yes, that's also true. But it's the bloodline of the other men in the midst of our women. Those are the ones that the Lord is going to. Let me leave it at this. Wait, let me see something here. Nehemiah. No, wait, let me finish this. Nehemiah 13:24. And their children spake half in the speech of Ashdod, Hamite, and could not speak in the Jews' language, which is called also the language of the language of Canaan. Isaiah chapter 19 shows you that. But according to the language of each people, and I contended with them, and cursed them, and smote certain of them, and pluck off their hair that hurts, and made them swear by Yahweh, saying, Ye shall not give your daughters unto their sons, nor take their daughters unto your sons, or for yourselves. Did not Solomon sin by these outlandish women and stuff like that? So it's a great evil. So transgressing against Yahweh and marrying a strange wife and stuff like that. So, and then you have this one over here. Let me see. Matthew 13:36. Then Yahushua sent the multitude away and went into the house, and his disciples came unto him, saying, Declare unto us the parable of the tares in the field. He answered and said unto them, He that soweth the good seed is the Son of Man. This is the good seed. Okay? Son of Man, where is it? The field is the world. The good seed are the children of the kingdom. They are allowed. They have an invitation to come into the kingdom. Yeah. But the tares are the children of the wicked one. They are not invited, nor do they get any privileges, especially also in the land of Israel, because according to the book of Numbers 27 and 36 also, this 27, chapter 27, and also chapter 36, it shows you that no Israelite is allowed to take land of another Israelite. It's not allowed. So a heathen nation, that's extremely not allowed. Extremely. Right? If Simeon is not even allowed to take 1 centimeter land of Judah, and Judah also not of Simeon, because they live in the midst of one another here. If Judah is not allowed to take 1 centimeter off of Simeon land and vice versa, then how come a heathen can come and take land there? It's not possible. So those Israelite foreigners that are allowed to come and take land in the midst of Gad, for example, in the midst of Manasseh, in the midst of Issachar, Zebulun, Naphtali, Asher, and stuff like that, Reuben, and all that, and Simeon, and all that type of stuff, if they are Gad, if they are allowed to come, if an Israelite foreigner is allowed to come and take land here, then it must be an Israelite, or else it is impossible. It can't. So the Israelite foreigners lack an inheritance that can come to the land of Israel and take land, inherit land there, must be Israelites. Numbers 27 and Numbers 36 explicitly, significantly explains that. If I use those fancy words, good. Explicitly and significantly. Right, anyway, going on. So it says here, the children of the terror and the wicked. The enemy that sowed them is the devil, Esau. That's it. The harvest is the end of the world, and the reapers are the angels. As therefore the tares are gathered and burned in the fire, so shall it be in the end of this world. So the Edomites that made children with the so-called black women, those are tear babies, and he's the devil. He's the deceiver. The word devil means deceiver. He is lying to you. But some of them look like us. And therefore we wait until the angels come and separate them from in the midst of us, because sometimes we don't know. Because you're looking, a high priest will see. If you read the book of 1 Esdras chapter 5, he can see what you are. But yeah, that's another story. Verse 5. Verse 40, sorry. As therefore the test, I already read that. Verse 41, the Son of Man shall send forth his angels, the reapers, and they shall gather out of his kingdom all things that offend. So what is an offense? This is an offense. This is an offense. This is an offense. The Lord is, it's almost kind of fucked up for these two. Hey man, it's not my fault. You should blame your mama. You know, it's I have nothing to do with this. But these are the sons of the kingdom. He looked mixed up too. So I don't know if his father is a caucus male. If his father is a caucus male, he's doomed. But then again, if he was to make a child with a so-called black woman, that child is an Israelite. Or if he takes a yellow-haired female, that child is still an Israelite because he is a son of Israel, whether you believe it or not. Fuck Andrew Tate, by the way, but don't say fuck Tom Jones. He's cool, because Tom Jones doesn't retweet KKK members shit, and he doesn't call us niggers with the hard R and all. And 50 Cent doesn't have to jump on Tom Jones and trying to correct him like, who the fuck is this white boy, and stuff like that. 50 Cent doesn't have to do that because Tom Jones is not that type. He's not that type of mixed dude. Tom Jones is the cool one, the one that knows that he's a black man, and the one that knows that he's not going to spit on the so-called black man, nor for his color, nor for his hair texture. He's not talking shit about the so-called black woman either, even though Andrew Tate is a pimping these white girls. Let him do the shit. Let him be a pimp. I don't care about that. Let him pimp his mother side of the family. I laugh at that shit. Anyway, these are tear babies, and yeah, it's fucked up for them. I have nothing to say about that. You are an offense. That's what the Lord said. And them which do iniquity, which goes for the Israelites. Also, all of them. It doesn't matter if you darken and dark. If you commit iniquity, the Lord's gonna call you a offense. Like a P. Diddy. I don't even know if he's Israelite. But anyway, you got other Jakes that are P. Diddy like, you know. What's his guy name? Russell Simmons or something like that. Russell Simmons, he's filthy too. He's a filthy dude. And you have more of them because his nephew outed him. Russell Simmons' nephew. Where's this guy? I think this one. Yeah, this one. Let me see something here. Russell Simmons' nephew. I'll put the link in the description box so you can check it out for yourself, what I'm trying to look up right now. Maybe it's not this word. It's actually this one. You know what? If I don't find it right here, I will put the link in the description box so you can check it out for yourself. I think it's this one.
I don't know if y'all well know, but my uncle was Russell Simmons, so that in itself was just a blessing to come up. You know what I'm saying? Dig as well, and Tempest as well. You know what I'm saying? We had an opportunity to come up with Run DMC and live in that world, and hang out with all the.
This guy knows what's up.
All of that was positive, you know what I'm saying? But what happened with Def Jam with us was, you know what I'm saying, Def Jam was interested in promoting us to a black market, and black people were just not ready for occult themes or being.
No, they was not ready for you devil shit. That's what they wasn't ready for, and because we the 90s kids were like, get this goddamn devil shit away from us. That's how we were. We ain't listening to Satan. We ain't putting no connections with no devil shit. Don't come around here with that devil shit. Nowadays, everybody and their mama on Satan tip.
To anything other than Christianity, basically, especially down south in the Bible Belt. So, you know what I'm saying? That was right there.
And they was down with devil shit. That's what they was down with.
Yeah, we all
hard R shit. Jason shit. You know? I like Jason, but not to that extreme.
Always thought that they should introduce us to, the white crowd, you know what I'm saying? Because that
you need to go hang around with the white people because they with that devil shit.
Our style was more closer to heavy metal
More closer to Satan.
than other types of hip hop at the time.
You had cruel rappers and stuff like that. This is another motherfucking devil. You had cruel, rappers and then talking about killing and stuff like that, but it was not talking about some Satan shit, man. Like X-rated, X-rated, and the other guy that was with him.
So we always felt that should have been more of our direct.
They was more into morbid shit. They was into this. Characterized by an unusual interest in disturbing and unpleasant subjects, especially death and disease. Now, that's what they was into. But in the 90s, you couldn't find Jakes that was... Hey, man, don't play that damn record here, man. Definitely, I was one of them. Like, hey, I don't want to hear that shit. I even saw Bone Thugs and Harmonies. I looked at it. I saw skulls. I'm never... No. I'm not listening to these devil worshippers playing with Ouija boards and stuff like that. Even though you had a few songs of them that was dope, I still don't love them people. A few songs where they wasn't talking about that crazy stuff. Okay, I liked a few, but I'm damn sure not listening to an album. Look at your album cover, man. Look at that. You got devil shit. You got skulls. This was the later ones of them. You had skulls and just Bohemian. You got cross and no. I don't want to. I have nothing to do with that. I remember one with skulls and bones and just death. Yeah, here I saw this. I was like, hell no, hey, no, get away from me with that. I saw death. I saw this one. I never listened to these people. I was like, no. I want nothing to do with these death. Yeah, that's what I want. These skull. You're scary. You scare me. Satanically scared. You know what I'm saying? Satanically scared. Scary in the flesh is something different compared to scared in the soul. No. You're scaring my spirit. When you scare my spirit, I'm like, no. That looked like a devil to me. That looked like, I don't want that. And they knew, and they know. But nowadays, they push this. You got Jakes walking around with skulls on their t-shirt. You never had a Jake walking around with skulls on their t-shirt back in the days.
You know what I'm saying? But Def Jam, when they take it in the direction of, they wanted to introduce these themes to black people, but black people just weren't ready.
Def Jam wanted to introduce hell skulls on their fucking hoodie. They wanted to introduce those things to our people in the 90s, but they couldn't. The Lord blocked it. Like, no. But now the Lord is like, go get him, Satan.
For that at the time, they're ready for it now. It's a story behind all.
They're ready for it now. He knows. He knows exactly. And this is done more than 7 years ago because this person uploaded it, but I think I saw it further, like maybe 8 or 9 years. This guy is just the one that reposted it or something like that.
Some of that shit too. I just advise everybody to study, man. Really, man. Look behind the door, man. Like, really, me, man. I ain't trying to get signed and be on the major label no more, money.
No more, my nigga. Why? Because he's like, I know what they do. I've been there.
I'm not doing it. You know what I mean? There's a lot. You got to pay for that, boy. It ain't just.
You got to pay for that.
It's like you get on, that's it, boy. It's things you got to pay for. And I ain't willing to pay that price, man. I'm keeping 100. You know what I mean? Other niggas ain't willing to pay that price.
He didn't be like, well, this is my nephew. He just pretty much put it to you as he would anybody else that signed a deal with him.
He don't care.
Def Jam.
Yeah, nah, not really, dude, man.
You don't care. You go fuck.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of like
he kind of looked out for you.
At the end of the day, yeah, of course he did. You know what I'm saying? My uncle. You know what I mean? But there was certain things he was able to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, every time we went out to a club, it was 40 of us. Nobody could tell us nothing. You know what I'm saying? Everywhere we went, it was 50 of us. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we just do what the hell we want. Free Fat Farm clothes all around the board. You know, tickets to whatever the hell going on. Def Comedy Jams, we was in all of those.
That's why they're always trying to get you alone. Hey, you're better than that group. You know, why don't you break away from them and do a solo career thing? That's how they get you.
You know what I'm saying? So he gave his nepotism in some forms, you know what I'm saying? But in other forms, that motherfucker didn't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, bread, boy.
Yeah.
He didn't give a
That
fuck.
nigga will kick his own child off the label. Nigga, that was his child. You kicked me off the label, nigga. But I kind of
Because you didn't want to do stuff.
let it go, though. You know what I mean? We was going in a direction that might have been no return from.
Yeah, definitely. He helped you by kicking you out. Sometimes, I'm telling you the truth right now, man. Sometimes when you get kicked away from something, it's actually for your embedment because you're going down a fucked up path. You know?
So we just stopped.
And he found out. Especially later on, he looked in hindsight back like, man, it was actually good that happened to me, you know? Because I wasn't going that good route. I thought I was because I was clouded. Now, I can see clearly now. The rain is gone. You know what I'm saying? Sam. Or did I quote another person's song? I can see clearly now the rain is gone. That's all. Sometimes when you're in the midst of a house, you know, when you look, here, when you in the house, right, and the lights is on, you in the house, you see everything in the house. But if I'm standing outside, you can't see me. I'm looking into your house and I can see everything that's going on. Sometimes you need to be the guy standing outside of the house, looking inward to the house. You're going to see dumb shit. You'd be like, man, I'm not supposed to be up in there then, you know, because you can see now. And if you're in the house, you can't see because you're comfortable. You think, you know, you're warm, the elements, wind, the wind is blowing against the house. You know, you're safe. When you're outside, well, wind also means destruction. When you're outside, the wind hits you, boom, whoa, hey, I didn't know that shit. Yeah, because you was in the house, you was kind of, you know, you thought you was safe. Now you need to deal with the elements when you're on the outside, and then you need to build your own shelter. And Lord willing, He's gonna help you with that. If it be so, if it be not so, better chin check your ass for doom. Then, you know, let it be so. Then, Job 12 and 16 was always my favorite. One of my favorite. I mean, why? Because it says, with him is strength and wisdom, the deceived and the deceiver are his. So if you are being deceived or by anything, or if you are a deceiver, the Lord did that to you. So that's why I always said, like, you know what, fuck it. If I'm to be this, then I'm gonna be this. If I'm to be that, then I'm gonna be that. It's the Lord's will. You know, what I want the good side. But what do you get? That's what you roll with. And walk off on that path. You know what I'm saying? That dope path. You know, so that's dope.
Big attempt don't like to talk about it.
What do you think about the
Of course you don't like to talk about it. Because you're in danger.
bloodlines and shit like that? You mentioned Aleister Crowley. You studied the occult. What do you think
Aleister
about
Crowley.
The Rockefellers and people of that nature?
Rockefellers.
What do we think of that?
I'll put the link in the description box so you can check it out for yourself, because I'm irritatingly stopping and playing. I'm sorry for that. So I'm gonna just do this right.
Shit is real, and you know what I'm saying.
Let me just go to the point, and then I'm gonna leave it, and then I'm gonna put the link in the description box so you can check it out for yourself.
In the television is vision program to see, so you can make a decision. It's your decision. Willing, accept. I mean, of the female.
Okay.
Running around wearing women's.
Understand what is Satanism, but
He's gonna talk about the sodomy thing too, because you got devil spirits, man. It might, dick might get hard or some shit like that. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, you got spirits on you, boy. Because I've been warning people, like, hey man, you having too much sex with them, too much girls and stuff like that. The spirit might jump on you. But anyway, I'm not gonna talk about that too much, because I'll leave that, man. You know, do your thing, do what you think it's good, and I'll just keep mine.
the opposite of what is natural.
Because what he's explaining is that, you know, all of a sudden they start loving it. Oh, what the fuck? Yeah. He's going to explain it. You know, all that sodomy shit that's going on.
So if marriage is natural, you know what I'm saying? Sex is in the highest form of level. So, but if you take sex between a man and a man or a woman and a woman, then that creates a exact opposite energy. It doesn't create life, so therefore it must create death.
Yep.
And that's why I'm here. Into your life. You know what I'm saying? But mention for on a higher level, I'm just gonna say it. I know it sounds crazy.
You know what? I want you to go and listen it out for yourself. He will tell you that he saw guys. I'm gonna just say it because I can't find it where, because he said a lot of very interesting things and let you know and warn you like, whoa, so that's going on. And he said this way before all these young thuggers were even freaking alive or something like that, born and all that type of crazy stuff, because he said it way back at the time. He said it a long time ago. And he also explains that he saw some, he ain't naming no names, because he even catch himself like, man, I can't say too much, man. You know what I'm saying? Let me see.
And shit happens.
Right. Check.
Spine is connected to you.
Check. This is what I wanted. I was going to say it, but let him say it.
That's it, because they linked. You gotta understand, nigga. You know what I mean? Because you're gonna have to walk through them doors.
Noriega was also talking to them about them doors. You had the gay door, you had the sacrifice your family or loved one type door, or you got the straightforward door. That means you on your own, do your thing and see if you're gonna get famous and rich off of your own self. See if that's gonna happen.
I ain't wanted to walk through them, dude. I'm not.
He didn't want to walk through those doors. I'm not
giving my soul up, and I'm not giving my whole up. I'm good.
Not giving my soul up, not giving my whole up, because they want to lift up your skirt.
You know what I mean?
And they laugh. That guy laughing because he knows. Like, he knows. They know what they saw. They know who they saw and what they saw. They ain't naming names, though. Because if they start naming names, they end up dead. He looking like Method Man, actually, here. Kind of funny.
Two things, no soul in the hole, kid. You're not going to get it.
No soul in the hole, kid.
And that's what they're coming after. That's what they want.
That's what they coming after. That's what they want. They want that booty hole. They want that hole. That's what they want.
They linked. You gotta understand, nigga. You know what I'm saying? No just.
Sorry, I'm irritatingly stopping the video. Please forgive me. He said they are linked. Your hole is linked to what? Let him talk. Sorry, let him talk.
Respect to the listeners, but your asshole is connected to your spine. It's connected to your brain. You know what I mean? And the message gets sent from one end directly up to the other, and shit happens.
The guys be laughing in the background like it's a joke. I'm seriously listening, and I'm got that fucking irritating laughing in the background, but I know why they're laughing. They're laughing because they know. They've seen things. And this is crazy that it was 6/6/16. That's just crazy in itself.
Right, no doubt. For real.
You do want niggas out here liking it.
You got niggas out here liking it, and then this was before P Diddy came. Like, the whole thing, I already knew this, man, and he knew it before me, so he taught me. And even the guy that did this video, he taught me too, because I don't know this shit. I don't live in America. I don't be at these clubs, so I learned from them. That's how I learn.
Wow, at first you ain't want to deal with it, but now you liking it.
First you don't want to deal with it, now you're liking it. All of a sudden you get a stiffy from a dude. Like, what the fuck? What just happened? Yeah, your spirits jumped on you, boy.
You know what I mean? Out here dancing for baby. Be out here dancing for baby, nigga, with nail polish on.
With baby oil on, too. But he's talking about this baby.
Talk about.
And who had nail polish? I think it was him, Lil Wayne. I think Lil Wayne had nail polish on. Is it here? No. Who is it? Let me see. No, not here. I know Snoop had it. Snoop Dogg had it. Yeah, see? He had it. And that's a sad thing, man. I used to like Snoop. I only like the old school Snoop, the one from 1997. You know, what's my motherfucking name? That one. I ain't messing with the rest, man. I'm like, are you done? You done. You know? You done. I'm done.
I was just gonna say, I would never.
You have a soccer play. Oh, I don't need to show that, man. Let me
a picture or anything like that.
A lot of guys here in the Netherlands look up to soccer players and stuff like that. I saw him with nail polish too, like here at Cristiano or something like that. Cristiano. Cristiano nail polish. This guy. He got toenail polish. And stuff like that. Cristiano wears nail polish. explained. You don't have to explain a motherfucking thing to me. You don't have to explain nothing to me. I see it and it's done. And you're bringing your son up in that little old world where it's okay for a man to have nail polish on his little totos and stuff like that? No. No, you done. You done.
Coming from Russell Simmons, surely he wouldn't be involved in that, would he?
Man, listen, like I said, man, everybody got a good side and the evil side, and I ain't gonna say nothing more.
You can't. You shouldn't. And then later on, if I'm correct, he came back upon this interview and he said, yeah, I was just talking shit. That's what he said. You know, he apologized. I think his nephew apologized or something like that because they stepped to him. Yeah, I just played that one. I just played that one. Here, director Jamal Simmons is apologizing for decade-old tweet. No, that's another one. Sorry, but his name is Jamal. That's another Jamal then. Yeah. Well, the communication director Jamal Simmons. Okay, that's another one. That's another one. That's him. Oh yeah, and this is a tweet, by the way. So that thing was an interview. But I also saw another one where he was apologizing for the interview. I also put that in another video that he had to apologize because you know he doesn't want to die, and they got worse things than death for you, by the way. Alongside of assassin the character assassination, alongside of that they have other things that they can harm you with. You love your family, or basically they can do things to you, man. I don't want to say nothing here. I mean, you know what Jeffrey Epstein does, right? You know what if his jobs. But anyway, I'll put this link in the description box so you can check it out for yourself. Very interesting, make you learn stuff. So when you see the P. Diddy stuff, it's not something that is new, because these things have been spreading around on the underground so-called internet, and it only has 2,600 views. So it's not really spread. This guy knows knowledge. He has knowledge. I learned from him too. You know, I learned from everybody. Shit, I even learned from Mario. I learned that they hate us so much that they don't put us in Mario. And I learned also who is behind Mario. Japanese people. Why the fuck would a Japanese person put a dark... They hate you. Have you seen what they do amongst their own selves? Ooh. No. They don't like us. Japanese... Now, like I said, are all so-called black men great at basketball? No. That's just stupid. So are all Japanese hating on us? No. But does a big portion of them? Yes. Yes. Especially the corporate one, especially the higher ups. If you go to, look, I'm gonna give you an example. That's the last one. Brazil poverty line. When you step, there's a line, there's an invisible line there of this is a hotel if I'm correct, but still there is a line that they have in Brazil. When you cross that line, you will see a whole different race. I'm not kidding you. Unequal scenes in Brazil. It's unequal. The whole world is unequal. Only in America they push bullshit like equal. Shut up. That doesn't exist. Because you have here,